it's a windy one here. Glad I'm not at the RC field. I gotta get out to the RC field here sometime soon and try to relearn how to fly a radio-controlled airplane. You guys may have noticed I didn't get last night's video out till about almost, after midnight actually. Serious computer problem with the, actually the software program. Just, I won't bore you with it, but...
Uninstall it, reinstall it, the same problem occurred. One of the tech apps and corrals people online. Oh gosh, I had to uninstall it again, remove all the temporary files, remove every message of the thing. Apparently, you only remove the core program, somebody else stopped playing on. Had to dump all kinds of hidden folders and everything. It was quite clean out, but...
It's running pretty good now. So... some of that glare out of the picture. I may have touched on this before, but you know, we call them because you know, right now we've kind of been on this creature feature kick, you know, with the thanks to Andy's book and everything, talking about all the stuff that took place. And when you get right down to it, though, I think I could be wrong, but I think one of the reasons that a lot of the creatures were so popular was a lot of them were seen as the real victims. I mean, as I pointed out, you know, King Kong was on his island before he was kidnapped. Godzilla was living at the bottom of the ocean before he started dropping nukes on him. Most of the creatures did not ask for their fates. So, especially, also was the creature from the Black Lagoon. He wasn't bothering anybody. And so when you think about it, when you have a sympathetic protagonist like that, the people can go, hey, he's not just evil, he's just doing what an animal does. And if we'd left him alone, he'd have been okay. Then it makes him a lot more enduring, I think. And, so I found out in the comment section I was supposed to get Rust-Oleum 2X paint, not what I got. But on the upside so far, what I got, although it takes a long time, it takes a couple hours to really harden, it does seem to leave a really nice coat, and there's been no reaction with the plastic. So for now, I guess I'll go with what I got, but for future notice. If I remember what I read correctly, by the way, speaking of doing Apollos, I believe I know that no two Apollos rockets or Saturn V's are identical. They're because there was a constant evolutionary process. There are always changes being made. But I believe even the markings, the external markings, were different. I don't think they were identical in any two of the rockets. And when you're painting your old rockets, your vintage stuff or your fantasy stuff, and you're doing it in that 1940s, 1950s black and white, I'm sure a lot of you know this, but that's not, those color patterns were not arbitrary. Just like the Snark would be bright red with the all those white stripes on it, because I actually know a guy that worked on the Snark program. Well, this was done to give them crisp, clear, easy to see demarcation lines, because it made it easier for them to make calculations. Back when a lot of things were done visually, because they didn't have all the computer tracking they have today. And by having black and white like that, it was easy to see how they were rolling or pitching, and just tell what the rocket was doing, because you had this very straight, and of course some of the V2s had those diagonal V's on them. And of course that was the same thing as the rocket arced over. They could make certain calculations based on that. So those black and white fins and everything served an important purpose in the advancement of the rocket. Plus, I think it just looked cool. When I get around to doing the tremulous, I'm thinking about doing it in that kind of, you know, like test markings. You know, that might look pretty awesome. And so. I gotta go to the hobby shop today and pick up that other P40, and make sure I do that today before I get buried and stuff and forget. And I'm what I'm thinking about doing. The last one I did, I either used like gaming animations. I found some real air show footage of a P-40 that got beat while it was taken down. I don't know. There's only I think one flying P-40B in the world, and so in the Aurora book they pointed out something, and it was funny. And I had considered doing this years ago when we still had the Beaches Railroad Club up here in Jacksonville. Was it North Florida Beaches Railroad Club? I think was the name of it. Was it there? Or was it another? Anyway, it was a model railroad layout, and somebody had what I think was one of those Lindbergh UFO models on there. And what they did was they put a little HO scale, or they had a UFO. It may not have been the Lindbergh kit. Anyway, they put it on the train layout, and they put a little HO scale camera crew with it, like they were filming a movie. And I always thought it was cool. And I was thinking, you could, if you wanted to make something kind of wild but keep it in the realm of reality, you could just put a camera crew in front of it, and all of a sudden it's a Hollywood production. So that explains the wildness. Put a Godzilla on a railroad track with a movie crew, and I got with the the bullhorn shouting instructions at him. Well, anyway, so the I found out when I read Andy's and Dennis's book that when they were going to re-release the new monster scenes, just to make sure they didn't get any more trouble, they were going to issue a movie camera and a cameraman and a couple of accoutrements. So it was still going to be a movie scene. That way, hey, we're just showing these old movie scenes. There's no terror factor to it or anything, which would just been well. First off, I think that was a cool idea in its own right. And I was like, hey, I had thought about that, and then realized people thought about that long before I had thought about it. And of course, great minds think alike, and so does mine. Unfortunately, they got apparently it looked like some test shots done or some power action shows. I think it was just the patterns, but it was that would have been cool. In fact, somebody may make them, but for any of you resin makers out there, or maybe even a camera crew might be a pretty cool little thing to make. I mean, I could see that being fairly popular, and the cool thing is also not only could you make them in different scales. Oh, I got a phone call coming in. Hang on. Well, I took that call because I thought it might be the hobby shop. It was a local area code. We want to help you. Here, car insurance. Good. You gonna make my payment for me? Okay. Well, anyway, as I was saying, I think a movie crew would make a pretty cool set of accessories. Might make a cool diorama. Get yourself some 60s version Patton tanks, paint them up in Africa Corps markings. Maybe get yourself some Chaffies and paint them in American markings, or Walker Bulldogs. Anyway, put them against each other and put the cameras out there, and they'll be filming the famous Battle of El guitar scene from the movie Patton. And in other words, deliberately, use the wrong tank so that you go, oh no, we're filming a movie. It makes all the mistakes correct. People go, well, that's technically wrong. Oh no, they're filming a movie. And back when I was writing my screenplay, I was having so much, I was trying to round up people, see if anybody would be interested to put together a couple $100,000 and actually trying to produce it, which when I learned the numbers, I think it's 80% of all films that actually make it into the can never see the light of day. Apparently there's a ton of independent films. Well, maybe with Netflix and stuff now, and I've seen some really bad stuff, so, maybe you could find a buyer, but anyway, I said, you know what, if you really want to make a budget film, don't make the film a sci-fi film, make the film about a filmmaker trying to make a sci-fi film. Well, need to get to work on the swordfish. I got a text this morning from somebody about Shepherd Payne, the famous diorama maker, dioramaneer. That's my word. I invented it. It's my word, dioramaneer. I think. Anyway, and I know I keep promising to do one. And then he showed a picture of a book. I didn't realize they'd written a book on Shep Payne. I still don't know. Like, I should probably get it because I don't know how that guy did those amazing dioramas. And he was taken away from us way too young, I believe, by cancer. There's just some mad talent out there. I've heard it said that when the machines do everything and people no longer have to work, the entire world will be made up of artists and critics. And since model building is a form of art, I know what I'll be doing after the machines take over, if they don't kill us all. Just remember something. Even the most noble robot like Commander Data, he was one bad piece of code away from becoming a monster. You guys have a good morning.